Hello everybody, this is Maniac4Bricks, and welcome to Mondays. I'm just kidding. This is just an update video on everything that's surrounding Philly Brickfest 2018. As some of you know, I've been trying to gain some Philly funds with a couple different avenues, and I was hoping for something to premiere at Philly Brickfest. So all of that will be covered in this video, and luckily I have a good handful of notes here I can take a look at just to be sure I cover it all. I do want to cover about the Philly funds, which I've had a couple different resources in order to gain it, in order to stay for the hotel, pay for the food and gas, and luckily I have just enough to take care of all of that. When I say that, I mean that it's just enough, like amount-wise. I may not be able to participate in everything that might be extra from there, because there are other things that can be registered through Philly Brickfest, like different events that might be happening on certain days that usually require an extra fee and registration for it. I do have to cut some of those short, but I will still have a good time with it. I am leaving on Wednesday, about midday, closer to noon or something like that. And that should still give me plenty of time until Sunday to interact with all different kinds of LEGO fans and friends all over the place in one venue. So, most of that, luckily, has been working out for my part-time job, which is one of my resources. I've been able to get several hours in order to make that all happen, but the other income that I had it from was from Maniac4Toys, my eBay store. I have that store currently closed with all the listings on there currently wiped, so nothing is available for sale currently while I'm at Philly Brickfest. I made sure of that so there aren't any issues later on if there's a transaction that goes through. I will have to see after Philly Brickfest what is actually going to happen with the eBay store, how much of it is going to be restocked or new stuff or things like that. But since it is a part-time thing, I don't know exactly at this point what's going to happen. Most of the stuff that was taken through there that hasn't sold yet are actually going to be brought with me to the yard sale. This is an event that exhibitors have in certain hours outside of the public where they can claim a table if they don't already have a vendor table and no license required. It's something that they can do especially in order to sell off a couple of LEGO things or trade them with other people. So I'll have a couple of items to bring there, some of them from the eBay store and some of them from outside of that, so I think it'll go very well just to make a little bit of money back for the weekend. And sometimes that money goes into, some of the hotel or the other expenses that I had to pay mostly in advance. The other thing I wanted to mention as far as what I'm bringing to Philly Brickfest is that I was hoping, a projected goal that I had a while ago was that I was going to bring a book, my published Bazaar LEGO book, to distribute there, to sell them there, much in the same way as the yard sale. But the problem is, it's not done yet. And unfortunately, I won't have that available. I will be happy to talk with people about the book and, see what they want to learn about what I'm adding into it. But I can't have that there for distribution. It's not yet made because I've had a lot of trying to figure out the proofreading. I still, most of the writing is already taken care of, but it's just the proofreading now I needed to worry about. I still have the cover art to make, some visuals inside of the book, and a lot goes into the photography. I've tried to contact multiple people when it comes to photographs for all the different items I wanted to cover, but I haven't gotten the right responses or the right time frames in order to do so, and I've thought of doing it myself, but I don't have the right materials quite set up yet. I could still try it in the future, but it'll take me a little bit more time to actually assemble it and then have it ready to go. I will also have to say that one of the other factors that held me back from that production was using these YouTube videos. I wanted to be sure that these were still running for some time in the past month and a half, and well, because I was working a lot on those videos and some areas around here, I couldn't really focus on the book, so I do apologize for splitting my focus in all different directions. Now, as far as all the other stuff for Philly, I'm really excited for it. I think it's going to be a great time, and there are going to be lots of great people to see there again from previous events, or meet there for the first time in person. Some of them, on YouTube, but I'll be happy to shake their hand, meet them, and you get to see different MOCs in person. Now, as far as the MOCs that I'm bringing for Philly, we have a good thing here. We have about 4 new MOCs, but I can't really say exactly how they're going. I'm going to need a little help here. Maniac for Bricks, as portrayed by SpongeBob. How ready am I?
I'm not ready!
Yeah, so as far as the MOCs go, there's still a little bit of work before I get them packed and then I have them moved into the car. So, for one example of the MOCs that will be there, this is one that I've had for a while, and I have done a separate video about it on YouTube if you want to check that, link in the description card and all that stuff. This is a MOC for a vignette of Little Shop of Horrors. I've actually updated this one a bit, usually just increasing the height on the sides of it, and I also cut off some of the stuff on the side, because before it actually peeked out a bit, and it didn't look as nice when trying to get photos and things. But this looks a lot better now, from both angles. That will be seen mostly through the public. The other figures and things on here will be added back in. They're just currently off to the side. But I added more height to this so that I can match up with some of the other ones I've been working on in the background. But this wasn't the only vignette I was going to make at a certain time. I actually wanted to make a whole bunch more of them. And in advance, about a couple months ago, I made LEGO Digital Designer, blueprints for what else I wanted to build. And most of these are based on movies from the 70s and the 80s. This one is from 1975, and I've updated it frequently on Instagram. This is based on Rocky Horror Picture Show. For kids, it's adult material, but this is okay to show. Just to be aware of that. And I did also do a video before of some of the figures that will be added in here later, but I will revise 2 or 3 of them to make it look a little bit better and stand out a little bit more. But I'm really happy with how this thing turned out. It is pretty accurate to the movie. Just going frame by frame to be sure that I got the right details in here about statues, or this control panel, or even that tank in the middle. I love how this thing, it just glistens with color. And this was a building technique I didn't think was going to work in real world physics compared to LEGO Digital Designer. So I'm happy that that worked out very nicely and fits very well. So this is the first MOC that I've been working on. Still a few more things to add on the sides to give it more of that uniform base to it. But that one is almost done. This is the second one I've been working on that is based on The Breakfast Club, and if you've seen the movie, which also has a bit of adult material here and there, not as bad as Rocky Horror, this one has, it's based on the credits scene from the movie. So I will have Bender somewhere in the front or in the foreground of this, may add a few more details here and there. The background was actually very challenging for me to put together, so I just went with blue for a lot of it. Didn't have to worry about clouds and trees as much. So it's still there a little bit, but I think you get the point here with most of the objects that are seen in frame. What's also interesting about it is the forced perspective of how this is actually built compared to what you're actually seeing. Like, it's supposed to look like it's further away than it is. There will be videos on each of these vignette MOCs coming soon. It will probably be, at best, during Philly Brick Fest. And if not, it'll be shortly after I return next Monday. So, that'll be alright. But then there's also a third one here that kind of gives you a little bit more of like how I do these. It's a 16 by 16 base plate. It has a brick layer of mostly filler brick, so it doesn't matter the color on there. Then you have a plate layer put over that, and there's also this border that a lot of these have uniform, that have, the snot bricks with a plate layer, and then the 1x1 round tiles to go along it. This one in particular is for Ferris Bueller's Day Off. It is based on one of the scenes in the art museum, so I still have to touch up a little bit more with the Breakfast Club one before I jump into this, but at least it's starting on that road. I also do have another MOC here that is brand new, and I haven't done a video for it yet, but I will get to it sometime soon. I want to make a more proper glow zone MOC, and this is what I've come up with so far. This is already more than halfway done. I just have a few more mechanisms to fit along the middle of it in order to get it rolling. And literally rolling because it does have wheels on it. This is supposed to be a simulation of one of those plane rides or spaceship rides where something will spin around a base, and each of the planes everyone can sit in, have like their own ride for it. This is something that they can like move up and down, or sometimes automatically moves up and down. In this case, it's moving automatically from this piston function that is on each of the wheels. That's why they're in the Technic axle pins. So this is something that fits very well, and I just have to find out the mechanism to attach on each of these, the spaceships to use, because it is more space oriented. Even got some slime along the side of it, but this is also very fragile. The mechanism in here has just enough friction and everything to fit together. Like, I do have ways of tearing this apart if I need to. Alright, up soon. Domino's Pizza. Free sponsor. I do have ways of tearing this apart nice and evenly if I need to repair things, but for the most part, it should work just fine as it is. Like, if I press this right now, it should turn just fine in either direction with a small motor. The wheels will fall off for right now, but when I do fit that lifting function, these will be able to attach on there much easier. So I'm really looking forward to all of that. You know, I still have a day or two in order to get these all done. I do also want to set up a channel trailer. I've been taking clips every so often and trying to compile them to make a new channel trailer and a new Welcome to Maniac for Bricks sort of message. So for people who find my channel new at Philly Brick Fest, or I just meet them or something, they have something that they can go to and get to understand the channel very easily with just a couple videos, or just, you know, clips from certain videos. So thank you for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'm really excited for Philly. I forgot to mention the glow zone stuff. Trans bright green is all around here. I will add more trans green and trans orange a little later on when I get those spaceship parts, you know, filled in. But, oh, I almost forgot, because I keep forgetting this. I'm going to have to tear apart Master Wu. I did a building video privately. You might be able to see it here. I did a build for him, but I will have to tear him apart for pieces because I'm trying to make my sig fig in a brickhead form. A lot of people have been doing that. I have the parts available. I know how it's going to be built. That's something I still need to work on. But I'll go to that after some pizza. We'll see you next time with more LEGO videos.